My name is Lambi Nguyen, and I started an organization called Fashion for Freedom. I believe in the ability of the fashion industry to create financial freedom, to create cultural freedom, to create freedom of self and freedom of expression. We need to change the way in which we participate in the creative industry. We need to kind of think about collaborative effort and appreciate the beautiful creative culture that's ancient and allow for the industry to open their doors and the trade in itself to those that can't access it.
They make the product, and then you're picking it back up and giving them access in a way to a market.
Yes.
As well.
We become their first customer.
We saw this amazing opportunity for a kind of partnership and a collaboration where we could bring kind of like the two extremes, the sort of massive mass producer and then these like sort of, heritage minority people, and there was a common thread between the two. For these communities to survive, it needs everyone's help. It needs all aspects of the fashion industry and production to understand and pull together to support them. The fabrics that have been produced with the coats threads, they're really good for industry. We can use them to make products. So there's opportunity for economics, there's an opportunity for sort of economic gain as well as a cultural gain. We're helping coats because they have this stuff that's excess threads, and what do they do with it? It can be used to do good. So that's where it's important. But none of this could happen without each of those players in position. So that's why it's important Coats is there, that's why it's important Fashion for Freedom is there, and ultimately that's why it's important those minority groups are there.
We're here at Ho Chi Minh City right here in South Vietnam, right? And we're going to be traveling up into North Central. We're going to be flying into Hue, and then we're going to be moving from Hue into the Alloy region, right?
That's a 2-hour travel by bus.
This is actually a restricted area for foreigners too. We had to get special permission to be able to go up there and visit the region. So I'm looking forward to going up there and seeing it and being supported by Fashion for Freedom to go and see where they're using our excess threads. Hi, Ms. Tom. Good morning. Thank you for letting us come to visit you. Yeah, so we hope you can teach us a little bit about what you're doing here. When you get the thread, then what do you do after you receive the thread?
Đây là sợi của công ty hỗ trợ cho hợp tác xã. Dạ. Thì còn công đoàn đâu thì hai dây sợi nên cuốn lại, kẹp lại thành một, là cuốn xong là lên thùng dệt, mà hôm nay trời mưa không làm được, không
So
được.
the process to weave the product looks simple. They start rolling by hand, twist thread by hand like that, and then they get on a wooden frame to make prepare for the loom. And then the loom is more about backstretch loom that people sit on the floor and stretch their leg. So the width of the fabric is how much they can stretch their leg, and people weave on that loom. The loom made of bamboo and wood.
And so is it difficult to carry on this tradition and to carry on the traditional way of doing it, or is it something that's easy to do?
Không đều thuận lợi thì khi có sợi này, có cườm sẵn có rồi, sợi len cần sợi chị thì có, sợi len thì có rồi, màu thì thuận lợi cho chị em họ dệt cũng sản phẩm họ dệt làm ra còn nhiều hơn. Còn hồi xưa thì một năm là ai nó siêng nhập được dệt được một tông.
And so for how long does it take to make one piece?
Cái theo loại bỏ nhiều cơm thì làm lâu mà bỏ ít cơm không thì
The patterns and the symbols are actually a woven language for the tribes. We provide our products, our excess threads, to 3 different tribes that I know of, and we're looking to expand that more. So this woven language actually talks about births, deaths, families, marriages, what's happening in the villages, and so people can communicate and look at the fabrics. What was interesting is as they danced and as I looked at this fabric, I could see that the poses that they were doing were actually also stitched into the fabric. So I could see the dances, and then I could look at these fabrics and I could see some similarities, which was really, really interesting to me. And it's all about their woven language in the fabrics. And so it was really neat to see firsthand kind of a translation from the fabric back into real life.
With coats coming in and bringing these beautiful, colorful threads that they now can then weave their story. This isn't in any way just textile anymore. This is a love story. This is them being able to sit down and write the story of their family. The first fabric that any girl makes is at 6 or 7. The last is when she closes her eyes. That's the history that's get passed down, and not being able to have a way to preserve it, you lose that.
I think that we can expand to different tribes in Vietnam. I've heard that as people have studied these different woven languages, that there are woven languages also in North America among like the native Indians. There are woven languages in Latin America among tribes there. And a lot of the symbols in all of these tribes around the world that have never ever communicated with each other, all of these symbols actually mean something very similar to one another. So that when they weave these symbols, a tribe from Latin America might actually know what the tribes from Vietnam mean based on the symbols that are woven into the fabrics. I think that Coats potentially has an opportunity to provide excess threads to other tribes around the world, and Fashion for Freedom has said that they are interested in seeing if Coats wants to pursue that as well, supporting different tribes around the world.